you guys can keep it. Okay, so this is 8th grade, lesson 2-5, comparing proportional relationships. I want you guys to write down in this big space right here, slope equals rise over run, which will make a little more sense here as we go through the lesson. Slope equals rise over run. And you're going to be using this probably for the majority of the rest of the year. So I'm looking at example 1 here. It says compare proportional relationships represented by tables and graphs. So here we have a table of a Cessna 310, and then we have a graph of a jet airliner. And on the table here it says in 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and so forth. It gives you the distance that they travel. And the same thing here on the graph. It has time in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and so forth.
Not working very much. It's stuck at 59. Oh, yeah, never mind. That's glitching.
Is it? Okay, did it stop for a minute?
Yeah.
Looks like it's working now.
Oh no.
Okay.
Sorry.
Did one of the Skittles hit your eye?
A little bit.
Okay, that could be it. All right.
What in my nose?
So, okay, so they're finding the cruising speed of the Cessna, and then they're finding the cruising speed of the Boeing 747. And this I wanted to point out to you with rise over run. What you do when you want to figure out the slope of any graph, you just pick any of the 2 points, and they just pick these 2 right here. Okay, and they looked at the run in comparison between the 2 points. So here's the first point, and they went over 2, and then that was directly below the second point. And so that was a run of 2. And so I just put a little 2 right here. And the rise, in other words, how far do we have to go up to reach that second point? And it's 1, 2, 3. And that would be 30. Now, the reason why it's 30 is because we're looking at what y represents. In this case, y is representing distance in kilometers. And so each line is not 1, but here's 10, here's 20, here's 30, here's 40, 50, 60, and so forth. So the rise is not 3, but 30. Now, as far as x represents time in minutes. And so each line represents not 10, as in the y-axis, but 1. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Circle the triad down below. It says the graph represents the rate at which Marlowe makes origami birds for a craft fair. Do you guys know what origami is?
Yes.
Okay, I figured most of you did. Yeah, folding paper. There's some pretty elegant origami artists out there. So they've got the equation y equals 2x, or I'm sorry, 2.5x, and that represents the number of birds Josh can make in X minutes. And who makes birds at a faster rate? So here's Marlowe's rate, and that's represented on a graph. And here, let's see here, Josh is represented by this equation. All right, let's look at example 2 real quick. Comparing proportional relationships. So the graph on the right represents the rate at which Daniel earned points in his video game. And the rate at which Brianna earns points in her video game is represented by the equation y equals 2x, Y is the number of points, and X is the time in minutes. And then it says, at these rates, who will earn 100 points first? Well, let's look at Daniel's score here. So in 1 minute, Daniel earns how many points?
3.
Looks like 3. And so we've got a graph here of this would be, well, do you guys remember? This point right here, could you guys give me the coordinate pair for that? How many of you could do that? Give me the coordinate pair for that point right there. Okay, so probably not half the class. So this is the x-axis, and when you write down coordinate pairs, x is always listed first, and y is always listed second. This is the x-axis right here. This is the y-axis. And so x, I'm going to start at the origin, which is considered 0, 0, and I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4. So x would be 4, and y would be what? 1, 2. Okay? And so that's how this point would be represented. It would be x is 1 and y is 3. Okay? So let's see here. He earns 3 points per minute, and Brianna earns 2 points per minute because x represents the number of minutes. So if it was 1 minute, then she would earn 2 points. Does that make sense to you guys? Yep. Yes? Ms. Durgan, you're smiling? Yes? Okay, all right. Number 3, the graph represents the cost per ounce of a grain cereal. A 15-ounce box of raisin cereal costs $3.90. Which cereal costs more per ounce? So the raisin cereal is 26 cents per ounce. And so here they set it up for you, and then you've got a graph over here, and you can calculate that to be, what is it here, 25 cents per ounce. And so as far as the graph is concerned, you can just look at the rise over run. So these are the 2 points they selected right here. And again, it doesn't matter which 2 points you pick. You can still figure out the slope or the rise over run. And so these are the 2 points they used. So we'll start with this point. We'll look at the x. And we went over, looks like 2 lines right here. And so that's what? How far is that? 10, 15, 20. That's going to be 10, which they have represented right there. That's the run. And then how far up do you have to go? Looks like they went up 2.5. Again, for the rise, you're looking at the y-axis, and so it's going to be 2.5 over 10, and 2.5 divided by 10 is 0.25, and that's the cost per ounce. Okay, go ahead. Circle the try it, bottom of page 123. I already showed you guys 1, 2, and 3. Circle 4 and 5 on page 124. On page 125, circle 6. And I just want these 2 boxes right here. I'm not worried about the rest. You can fill them out if you want, if it helps you. 7, all 3 boxes. Circle those. Let's look at 8 for a moment. It says the graph shows the amount of savings over time in Elena's account. Lana, meanwhile, puts $50 each week into her savings account. If they both begin with 0, who is saving at the greater rate? In other words, who's saving more money over time? So each week, Lana puts in $50 each week. So this is week 1 right here. And so Lana puts in $50. So this is 94. Let me zoom in a little bit here. This is 94. At 2 weeks, she's put in what? How much? If she's putting in 50 a week, she's put in 100. And if this line right here is 94, it's going to be just a little bit above that. And then at 4 weeks, how much will she have saved? 200. And so we'll just go a little bit further. At 6 weeks, what? How much would she have saved? 300. So, I don't know, maybe there. Kind of guessing here, since these are not in easy increments to graph. 8 weeks would be 400. So, I don't know, maybe here. I'm guessing. So, let's draw a line. Although it should be pretty obvious. I'm going to start at the origin.
Such a W line.
Okay. So Lana that's her graph. And she's putting in 50 each week. So who is saving more over time? Each week, Lana is. So when you look at a graph, the steeper the line, the greater the rise. And if we're talking about money, that means more money into. So imagine, let's say her graph looked like this. Let me just do a different color here. Let's say there was a third person, and they were putting in, let's say, $100 a week. A week, $100. So here's 1 week, and 100 would be right about there. Week 2, it'd be 200. That would be right about there, I'm guessing. Week 3 would be 300. Be right about there. Week 4 would be 400. Right about there. And so if I was to, again, to draw my line, we've got a much steeper line. So that indicates that they're making a lot more money in a shorter amount of time. Page 126. Number 9, showed that to you guys already. So these 3 individuals. So I want you to do part A and part B. I didn't circle part B, but you're going to have to put down the three names and let me know how much per mile each one is making. Number 10, A and B, don't worry about that. 11, circle that one. And that's it.
You have to take 6 minutes to go to technology.
What do you guys have today?